to Tonic Studios USA. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, all of those fantastic things. Happy Valentine's Day Eve. Greg, have you remembered it's Valentine's Day tomorrow?
Sort of.
Hopefully your better half, other half, has remembered it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. I have remembered. Cards are made, gifts are ready. Let's get started on our live. We have a Valentine's Day flash sale for you. Plus we have our February tours sale going on. Links, of course, as always, are in the video description for you. And they may be above, below, or to the side of me as I do my air hostess impression. And you can check those out as well. So let's see who's joining us before we dive in. So we have Jane joining us in snowy Ohio. We totally know what you mean, Jane. It's been a horrible day. Here as well. Hi Cindy, Karen from the design team's joined us as well. Hi Julie, Carrie is here as well, Deanna's here, Cindy's here, another Cindy's here, Julie is here, Andre is here, Greg is of course here as well.
I'm here.
Julie's here. Poet Spice is here from Ohio as well. Lots of you already sharing. So for those of you who don't know, if you are new to the Tonic Live, welcome. So every week we give away a Tonic goodie bag. And all you have to do is share this video while we are live on Facebook. If you're watching the rerun on YouTube, unfortunately the giveaway is now closed, but join us next Wednesday on Facebook, Tonic Studios USA, 8 p.m. Eastern, and share this while we're live on Facebook. Share it with your friends. Leave us a comment to let us know that you've shared it, and at the end of tonight's show, either Greg or I will pick a winner from these shared comments. So tonight I'm going to be sharing my highlights from the tool sale. So I get the fun job of going through all the fun things that are in the tool sale, and I get to pick my favorites and share them with you. I've also selected a few things from the Valentine's Day flash sale to share with you as well. So let's dive in and see what things I picked out from the tools sale. So the first thing I picked out, well, that had to be my Tim Holtz scissors. I mean, we can't live without them. We really do have them in every room in the house. Greg has his own set in his tool bag, and he has them in his man drawer in the kitchen, and we have them pretty much everywhere in the house. We have them in the office. Greg has them in his study. The girls have them. We have the Tonic children's scissors for the girls as well. So I had to pick out these, and these ones are in stock and they're in the Tonic tool sale. So they're an absolute bargain. So I had to pick those out.
We don't have any in the playroom.
No, we have children-friendly Tonic scissors in the playroom, and they are also in the tool sale. So if you want good child-friendly scissors, they are also in the tool sale. I didn't go upstairs and find them. We only just got in before the live this evening. But the Tim Holtz scissors, they have a serrated blade on the bottom and they have a straight blade on the top. And what you want to do is, if you look at the scissors, they say Tonic Tim Holtz, and you always want to make sure that that Tonic Tim Holtz faces you when you're cutting. So if you keep that serration to the bottom and it faces down, you get a really nice clean cut and you don't see that serration. The other nice thing, and I have really small hands, Greg has huge man hands, and these have squidgy handles. So whether I'm holding them or Greg's holding them, our hands both fit in there really nicely. So either way, we can both cut. And they are super, super sharp as well. So you can see I can just cut straight through. The other funny story about this is way before I worked for Tonic, this work surface that we work on, this white work surface, is a thinnish sheet of laminate from Lowe's or Home Depot. And we bought it, and this is just an IKEA table on top, and Greg insisted I had to have a white table for filming. And so we put the white tabletop on top, and we tried saws, we tried pen knives, we tried all sorts of things to cut this piece of laminate to size. Nothing would work. I kid you not, nothing would work. And I said, well, I have a pair of Tonic scissors in the cupboard. So I went out, I got these scissors. It was a different pair, they were red at the time. And I got them out, and I kid you not, the only thing we could cut through this laminate were these scissors. And it must have been fate that I was going to work with Tonic, because these scissors cut this desktop. So they are amazing scissors. Let's see what else is here. Jane also loves these scissors as well. Lots of you are loving these scissors. Kathy has shared it as well. And Suzette's always wondered about the scissors as well. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend these scissors. And I think Greg would recommend them as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that. I also picked out the surface sweep. And Greg always laughs at me with the surface sweep because Tilly and I love this brush. It's super, super soft. It's a fan-based brush. Now, I use this for all sorts of things. Tilly will apply her makeup 100 times a day while I'm crafting with it. But it does have a really great practical purpose. So when I'm heat embossing, it's perfect because I can brush away all of those kind of fluffies away. If you're working with glitter, it's perfect because we all know what it's like to get microfine glitter over the table, and Greg's gonna have a heart attack.
Oh no, don't. They know what glitter. Oh, you've done it already.
Yes, I've done it already. So we all work with glitter. How do we get rid of our glitter? Well, look, I have a surface sweep.
Right.
And I just brushed it.
You haven't got rid of the glitter. All you've done is dump it on the floor.
Actually, there's a bin right there, and I got it all in the bin.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. It's right there.
Don't believe you.
It's in the bin. So I like working with the surface sweep because normally you have brushes like this, or I would take my hand and then I try to... Greg, pan down.
What?
You need to pan down.
Yeah.
So normally I take my hand and I do this and I end up making more mess than I clear up. But if I take my surface sweep and I put my bin underneath, see, I do this and it brushes it all away. So that's why I like working with the surface sweep. The other thing that it's really, really great for, and I just brush it against my hand, I'm just doing this under the desk, and it takes all the glitter out of it and it comes out really easy. The other thing that it's really, really great for is when you're working with your gilding flakes. So you know when we're working with our gilding flakes, we put some adhesive down and then you really have to burnish at it to get that away. Well, if you have a surface sweep, literally all you do is this and it's done in seconds, and you also don't get that really tarnished look. It keeps that nice shiny look to your gilding flake project. So that's why I picked out the surface sweep. Now, the next one was actually a Greg pick, not a me pick.
Yeah, I like those.
So this tool is one of Greg's favourite because when we made these tags at the weekend, so we made these tags using some new distress oxides, we wanted to distress the edges. And actually you'll laugh because Greg and I were at Creativation and Greg was in his class and he had his little tool and everyone was saying, oh, what's that tool? That's really cool, because everyone else had scissors and were having to do it with their scissors. And Greg's like, well, you need a Tim Holtz tool. So all you do is take this down the edge of your paper and now you have the perfect, put my finger there you are. You have that perfect distressed edge on your paper. So all you have to do, and you have lots and lots of teeth to do this, you just take it along, you pull it like this, and you can do it as many times as you want depending on how distressed you want your edge to be, and it's super, super simple. You can then rub inks or pastes or anything you want to enhance that edge. But yes, that was Greg's tool pick this evening, and again, it's in our tool sale, so it's got a big discount on it as well. So that is my, that's Greg's pick from the tool sale. So that's in there as well. Then I wanted to pick out the craft spoon, and this goes really nicely with my last pick of the surface sweep. So if you like working with embossing powder, if you like working with glitter, if you are a mixed media person, it doesn't really matter what kind of crafting you do. Maddie uses this for, she likes doing those diamond paintings. She uses this all the time with that as well. It's perfect for, I should have got some embossing powder out my drawer. You can stir up your glitter. If you want to work with sequins, you know how we all love to do our sequins. Probably Greg's gonna have another heart attack at me doing this. But when you want to do shaker cards, you can just take a spoonful of sequins. You also have a scooped end as well, so you can just grab your glitter and things this way. But you know those really trendy kind of embossing powders that have black flecks in them or glitter flecks in them, and they have a real habit of separating apart? This is really great because you can just give it a really nice stir up. It's super easy to clean as well. It's heat proof. So I recently did a video where I took ultra thick embossing powder and I was taking my craft spoon and I was spooning in some kind of pearlescent embossing powders to do a mixed media technique where you could add kind of ripples and things into fairy wings. It was really, really pretty, but I couldn't have done that technique otherwise because I was adding molten embossing powder into molten embossing powder, so I was doing it using the craft spoon. So there's some really fun techniques you can do with the spoon, plus it's super handy. So that was another one. And the tool sale has up to 40% off, so there's huge savings to be had in the tool sale. I also picked out these three. Now if you haven't seen these, if you watch any of my videos, you will know that I use my Tim Holtz craft pick all the time. I use it to poke holes in things. I haven't used it to poke Greg yet, but I use it. It's great because if you have dies, I poke out the release holes. It's the perfect size to poke out a release hole. It's great if you have foam, because you can easily, particularly if you have your nails, I have the acrylic on my nails, it's great for just taking the release paper off your foam. It's great for taking adhesive off. If you're working with gems, it's perfect. If you I'm trying to think what else. I really do use it for anything. I unclog if I have a Nouveau drop that occasionally gets clogged, or an adhesive that gets clogged, I use it for that. If I can't really think of anything I don't use it for. I mean, I can't remember a time where I have sat here and crafted and I haven't had my craft pick out for something. If I have an intricate die and I want to like poke all the little bits and pieces out of it, then I will use my craft pick, and it extends a long way out as well. I use this all the time for different things. I have one that is super gunky because I use it for all my icky jobs, and then I have one that is really clean like this because I use it for all my clean jobs as well. So I use it for tons and tons of different things. It's great for like marbling if you're doing alcoholic marbling. They are just really handy. It's also great if you want to stick something down and just hold it in place. If you've done a pretty ribbon bow and you want to hold it down. Greg's rolling his eyes at me because I really do use it all the time. He also has one in his toolkit, so he can roll his eyes all he wants, but he does have one in his toolkit as well. Then also is the Tim Holtz craft knife. This is a really great craft knife. It's super sharp. It comes with, I think it's 2 additional blades as well, so you can replace these blades. And someone asked me, how do you replace them? All you do is you screw the cap off. You take this piece off to the end, you press your nail down. Easier to use your craft pick to change your blade. And all you do is press this cap here so it comes out the end. This piece will then just pull out like this, and then that piece slides out and you can slide in a new blade. So it's super easy to change your blade as well, and then the new one just pokes in like that, and then you're ready to have a new one, and your cap just screws back in again. I think it screws back in, yeah. And it just screws back in and off you go, and you're ready to go again. So that's how you change the blade on your craft knife. Oh, maybe you push it back in. There you go, it clips back in. No, it's not going anywhere. So you just give it a push back in and off it goes. And then you're ready to go with a new blade. So it's super simple to change blades, and it comes with 2 blade changes, and you can get additional blade refills as well. So that's the Tim Holtz craft knife. And then there's the Tim Holtz Scratcher. And I introduced Greg to this at the weekend because when he made his tag, he added these areas using some crackle paste, and he wanted to scratch off some of those areas. So literally all you had to do was take his scratcher, and that's exactly what you can do. You can just scratch away areas. So if you're doing a distress project and you want to kind of rub away areas, I cannot talk this evening, and you want to distress areas, that's exactly what this craft scratcher is for. I'm not going to do too much on his tag because he probably would kill me. Maybe I'm allowed to do it on the back here. Am I allowed to do it on the back?
Yeah, let's ruin your one.
I'll do it on my one. This was one of my tags. I did make a second one. I don't know where it went. But this was my tag. I don't really have anything I can scratch off. But so if you take your craft scratcher and you don't like an area, or you want to distress it even more, you can take your craft scratcher. And all it is it's kind of barbed wire little pieces here that are bent like this. And you can just scratch away at it. And you can add some grunge and some distress to it. So it's a really fun tool to work with, just like that. So they are your 3 Tim Holtz tools. And again, they are in your tool set, but if I was going to invest in one, I would invest in the Tim Holtz craft pick, because once you've got one, you will use it in every crafting session. That is by far and away my favorite tool. Can you do a close-up of the end of the scratcher? Absolutely. So if I put it onto my hand, can you get closer? Or can I get closer? So that's what the end of the scratcher looks like. Grace's going to get it even closer. There you go. I can read out some of your comments as well. Lots of you saying you love the craft spoon as well. Nikki loves the craft spoon. Dee's just joined us. Hi Dee. Lots of you use the craft pick as well. And lots of you, yes, lots of you have them in red. So if you have the older versions of these, they used to be in red, they're now in black. They're exactly the same tools. For those of you looking for the sale, and the sale links are in the description. Depends on what device you're looking at this, but they'll either be above, below, or beside me, but you'll see some links for you there as well. So that's there too. Welcome to all of those. Don't forget to share this video. Lots of you are already sharing. If you're new to Tonic Lives, keep sharing the video every time you share it. Make sure you do leave a comment to let us know you've shared it as well. And at the end of tonight's live, we will choose a goodie bag winner as well. Couple of other tools I picked out. So I also picked out the Nuvo blending brushes. So you get 2 in a pack. These are the slightly older design. They have been redesigned slightly, but the only difference is the handle here. And they're dual tipped and they're synthetic. They're absolutely amazing. I love working with blending brushes. I find they're much smoother often than working with blending foams, particularly if I want to work with multiple colors. And I have been an advocate of blending brushes for years. And if you watch any of my videos, you'll know I use blending brushes all the time. And one thing I do particularly with these ones is I have one pretty much for all of my distress colors, and I use one end for oxides and I use one end for my distress inks. And the reason is that you don't want to mix your distress and your oxides. So I just put an O and a D using Sharpie, or you can put a label, or you can put a sticker at one end depending on how you want to do it. But because the oxides have a pigment and dye fusion, you don't want to mix that with your distress, because then your distress is not going to blend in the same way. You're going to mix those 2 inks up. So these are perfect because you need one brush for each color of distress, and you can also do it per color family. So you can have a blue one, a green one, a pink one, a red one, etc. You don't have to necessarily have one per color. You could just do one per color family. But these are fantastic, and I store mine in a tray like this. So these are my ones that just kind of sit outside of my distress inks. This is the slightly newer style of handle. I'm not sure which ones are in the tool handle, but you can, tool sale I should say. But you can see they're almost identical. It's just the handle that's slightly different. But that's how I store them. And they kind of sit in there just like that. So, hi Jenny for joining us as well. Lots of you joining. Hi Michelle, hope you're well as well. And then I also chose the media tools because lots of you love these. I have done some videos on these, and I just wanted to highlight a couple of things about them. So in the media tools, you get the scraper, and the scraper is fantastic. It has a piece of glass in here. It's not going to cut you. I can run my finger down here. It's not going to do anything. My finger's fine. But if you get a mark on here, like here I have a little bit of adhesive, it's really going to help me to kind of scrub everything off. And I throw everything at this mat. Greg and I crafted these tags on this mat, and there was stuff all over them. All I did was I spritzed some isopropyl alcohol on here. I went to town with my scraper, and they looked like new again. They were all clean, ready to go again. And that scraper is fantastic. I also use this scraper when I make custom ink pads because it's perfect at kind of pushing that ink in. I use it for all sorts of things. Kind of probably things I shouldn't be using it for, but it's also if you need a bone folder in a cinch, this is really good for that too. You can use it for all sorts of things, and it has a nice grippy piece on here, so you can really go to town if you've got something, and it's not going to scratch your surface in any way either. So that's another option on there. So the other thing you have is the ruler, and I really like the ruler. Let me move my other tools out the way so I can show you. Now, a couple of things I wanted to mention about the ruler, because we've had some questions about it. So one side you have an embedded metal piece, so that if you use your craft knife against it, it's not going to slip, it's not going to cut your ruler, it's not going to do any of those things. You know, I'm not taking any shavings off the edge of my ruler, nothing like that. And then the other side is a beveled side. So if you want to draw against it, if you want to do any of those things against it, if you want to use your embossing tools against it, you've got a nice beveled edge to work against. One thing you might find just a little bit is that your lines don't match up perfectly. Now this is a perfectly straight edge, this is a perfectly straight edge, and independently these are perfectly straight lines on your glass mat. However, just because of this slight, they're made in different factories, and you also, the one thing I love about this ruler is the fact that it hooks on the top here. It will also hook on the side here. So when I'm working, and if I want to get, oops, a perfectly aligned sentiment, if I want to get a perfectly aligned piece of cardstock, you know, if I'm matting and layering, everything can be perfectly aligned because I can work using my ruler that can slide along. You may find some of your grid lines and your ruler don't perfectly line up. Each one on its own is perfectly straight, but just because of the differences between the two factories, you might find that there's slight differences between the two. But I just wanted to mention that between the two things. So I'm just also catching up on your comments all the way through as well. Lots of you saying you all want everything you're saying. I know, isn't it awful? But this sale has up to 40% off. So you can make your crafty buck go a lot further as well. So lots of you are loving all these tools as well. Some of you asking if this is happy hour night. We're not actually going to be filming happy hour tonight. We're actually going to be filming it tomorrow night. But there will, of course, be happy hour this week as well. And we also, I grabbed the Lightness, but I'm going to show you that.
Happy hour.
Oh, there was a bonus happy hour this week, so you can go and check that out too, for those of you who watch a happy hour. But I wanted to show you this tool first. So this is the Floral Ball Tool Set. And yes, it is great because you get your foam mat. You can, if you love making flowers and things, you've got all of these different, you have 6 different tips to work with. You can do all of your flower tools, your flower work. You know, you can emboss your leaves and things. What I wanted to show you is what I use it for. I don't make flowers. I wish I had the patience to do that. Maybe one day I have the patience to do that. What I wanted to show you is you can use this to make instant dry Nouveau drops. Now let me show you how that works. I'm going to grab, so over here I should mention these are some fun things. We won't go into much detail about them, but these are some fun things I picked out from the Valentine's Day sale. It's a flash sale that's going on through midnight, either tomorrow night or the 15th. I also linked that up for you, but you can hop on over to the Tonic Studios website. Everything kind of in the pink and red theme. Again, there's a banner there you can click on. But I picked out the twine. If you haven't tried Tonic Studios twine, it's fantastic. You can spray and alter it. There's the expanding mousse. We've got vintage drops. We have the new pink dream drops, glitter drops, shimmer powder, sparkle dust, sequins, glitters, glimmer powders. Everything pink and sparkly that you could dream of for Valentine's Day is included in that. So you can see that here. But let's get back to our instant dry Nouveau drops. So I'm going to pick out Pink Orchid, which is in the Valentine's Day sale. I'm going to pipe this onto my mat. Someone asking what the orange bag is. My orange bag is just my little holder. This is a Hunter bag that Target sent me when they did the collaboration with Hunter last year. I'm afraid it's not a tonic bag. It just happened to be orange and the right size. It's nothing particularly special. You also get a set of tweezers in your floral set. But what you can do with this is you can use any of these particular ball tools for this technique. But all you do is you dip into your area, and now I can make instant dry Nuvo drops. These will dry in around about a minute. And I'm going to do a couple of different sizes. And these don't add any bulk. Of course, you're not going to get any sagging because you don't have any depth to them. And I'm going to just clean them on my hand for now. And you can pretty much go up to any size. But all you do is just dip and dot. And then I'll do a close-up for you. I'm going to have a beautiful pink hand. And I'm going to do some tiny ones. These are also great for Christmas berries. And I love this idea because who doesn't love an instant dry Nuvo drop? Who else has been to a class and they've said, let's put some Nuvo drops on. Oh, but be careful when you go home because your project is going to have wet Nuvo drops on it. Or who else has made a card and wanted to put a finishing Nuvo drop on it but needed to get it in the mail in 10 minutes? Well, now you have a way to do that. So you can see that I have a huge variety of sizes in Nuvo drops, and all of those are going to be dry in a minute or two. You can also use your heat gun because you don't really have any height to these. I mean, these are slightly larger, but you can still use your heat gun because you're not going to have any cracking issues. You're not going to have any of that height. You're not going to have any of those issues. So I don't make flowers. Maybe occasionally. I also use it when I make butterflies. I'll just kind of run my ball tool down the middle to make sure they like really flap nicely. I made some butterfly cards earlier today. Actually, I can show you. Let me grab those butterflies. Where's my butterflies? So this is an alcohol inked panel that I made for another video. But these are the Tonic Mariposa butterflies that I die cut. And I die cut them out of Yupo, and they're the new alcohol pearls. But what I did was I ran my embossing tool down here, and you can see how those butterflies are kind of flying off of my alcohol inked board. But don't they look gorgeous? And that's the Tonic Butterfly Die. It's not in the sale, but I love this die. I use it all the time. And you can just see how that ball tool just added that little bit of height into that as well. So again, just another little fun top tip in there as well. So that's another one, and I just love this ball tool set. I use this all the time. So I'm going to slot this one back in here. And then my final few picks, I was also going to mention that in the Valentine's Day sale, they had a couple of basics dies. They were actually the heart dies, but I also wanted to show you some cards I made with the same alcohol inked panels. They were basics dies, but again, I used basics dies in a different way, and that video will be available on my YouTube channel maybe tonight, possibly tomorrow. But what I did was I took the Tonic octagonal dies and the Tonic square dies, and I created these windows. So again, take the I think the hearts are in there and possibly one other in that same Valentine's Day flash sale. And you can reimagine your basics dies in a completely different way. You don't have to use them just for layering. You can use them as windows. You can use them for all sorts of things. You could do the hearts in exactly this way. I have a card coming up when we show you the Adorables in a couple of weeks where I use the hearts as windows and I poked the Adorables out. So you can go and check these out. These are available now on the Tonic website, the octagons and the squares. So these were just the squares and I turned them on point to make them more kind of interesting. Just another idea for you as well. So the final tools I selected, well, I had to include a couple of trimmers. So I included the large Tim Holtz trimmer. So this is the large Tim Holtz guillotine. This will cut 12 by anything. So your gap here is 12 inches. Now your width here is actually just 6 inches, but what you have in the back here is you have an extension option. So this gives you, this just slots in here. It has a little arm that sits down, and this takes you up to 12.5 inches. So now I could cut 12 by 12 cardstock. This handle down the bottom here, this also does come off and sit in the back. I never take this bit off. This just permanently sits on here, but that's fine. That fits in my space. And then when I want to, I can take this ruler back off again. I just turn it back over again. It just, my little legs flip down, and I have to remember how I did this. There we go. There, it comes back out there. And you can see the handle is designed to live in the back here. I just don't. It doesn't work for me being back there. It's fine just sitting in its spot. So I chose this one. Again, that's in the sale at the moment. And I chose my mini Tim Holtz trimmer. As you know, if you ever watch one of my videos, you'll know I use this trimmer all the time. I have a 2-minute tip on my favorite ways to use it. And someone also gave me a tip the other day, which I really, really liked, which was if you pop your cardstock in and you pop it against this bottom ruler here, it never ever moves. And I don't know, something about it's been life-changing. So I can now cut it down to 4 inches by 5.25, and you can see how easy was that. And I can cut 2 to 3 sheets of cardstock at a time. It's always precise. The other thing I like about it are all the kind of grids and lines that are in here. And if you hop to my YouTube channel, you can find out how I cut perfectly straight sentiments every single time using these grids and rulers. Because you've got 2 different rulers in here, you can line up your sentiments against them, and you can always cut the perfect straight sentiment using this trimmer as well. I use this all the time. Greg also has one of these trimmers because he's seen me use it so many times, and he's kind of watched me use it. He's like, huh, I think that's a really good trimmer. It's really well engineered. I like that. So there's the few tools I have that Craig has kind of picked up, and now he's doing his crafting, that he has to have. This trimmer is one, the Tim Holtz craft pick is one, the scissors, the distress tool. It's kind of slowly, so... The
liquid adhesive.
Oh, the deluxe adhesive is one. So you'll find that they're kind of tools he's starting to pick up. So this one also gets that Greg seal of approval, and it's on sale. It's actually been out of stock for a while, so I was really excited to see it come back in and then go on sale. And the final one, I promise it's the final pick I had, was the Lightness spray bottle. Again, you'll see I use this all the time. I mean, there are tools, all the tools I picked here are things you'll see that I use constantly. Now, I put all sorts of things in here. I have a few of these filled with water, and then I have one of these that's always filled with isopropyl alcohol that I use for techniques. I use it to clean up the craft room all the time. I use it for all sorts of things. I also have one that's filled with stamp cleaner. I use this for so many different things. I also like the fact it has a lock on it. So I have the option to keep it open, or I can lift this piece up here. So this sits down here now, it's open. I can lift this up and turn, and now it's locked shut. So it's really great for traveling with as well. You get 2 in a pack, and then this goes down, and then I get a nice fine mist. So you can see there, and I've really got control. I can have a little bit, or I can have a lot. So I really kind of have the control that I want, depending on if I want to dribble onto my cardstock. And Greg's going to say, well, why do you want to dribble onto your cardstock? If you're using your distress oxides and your distress inks, you can see I can just have a few spots of water, or I can have a nice fine mist. So I really have that control, and I can have it however I want it to be on my cardstock, which I really like about it. So if you're working with your shimmer paste, you can also put your mousse inside there and make it into a nice kind of creamy consistency and make your own shimmer sprays. You can put your shimmer powders inside of there and make your own sprays. You can you know, put your own things inside of there and make your own sprays, add dyes into that. You can really kind of play around and make your own things with these as well, which I really, really love as well. So I'm going to catch on some of your comments in case there's any other questions in there as well. Let's see what else is on here as well. So Michelle says, are we spending our Valentine's Day night doing Hedgehog Hollow happy hour? Yes. Yeah. She said, coming on tomorrow night, it's our anniversary. It won't actually go live tomorrow night. Lots of you saying you now need the flower tool. Which is the flower tool? It's called something like the Flower Essentials tool, something like that. Let me see if I can. Did you all know that there's also a Tonic app that you can download? So you can just go into, there's a Tonic, I don't know if this is going to pick up, but there is a Tonic Studios app that you can get for your phone as well. So you can just go in there. You can see when we're live. Can you see in that top right hand corner? That you can see when we're live as well. And then you can find products, you can shop from there, you can do all those kinds of fun things. So you can't use any of our special links and things in the app yet. We're still working on that. But you can do all those other kind of fun things on there. But I'm trying to see if I can find out for you what the floral set is called. Of course, it's decided it doesn't want to work for me. So I will have to find out for you afterwards and let you know. But it is called something along the lines of the floral accessories. I was trying to browse quickly and it won't let me. It's called, I found it. It's called the Floral Crafters Tool Set, and it's a 266E is what you're looking for. It's normally $21.99 and it's down to $13.99. So I hope that helps. And I'm trying to see what else there is. Lots of you liking the idea of the app. Alcohol mist makes cool effects with shimmer powder. Yes, it does. You can add alcohol to the shimmer powder. You also have to add a little bit of water just to activate the shimmer powder, but you can turn those into alcohol thing. Shopping from an app is dangerous. Yes, it is. I totally agree with that. And now I've lost some of your comments. Have you got the rest of the comments there, Greg, as well?
I think I might have lost some as well.
You've got more than I have. So, do you have the stamp cleaning pad nearby so I can show the size? Yes, I do. Greg can grab it. It's behind my laptop. That's the thing. Dip and dot is genius. I'm just trying to make sure I answer your questions. So this is the stamp cleaning pad. So if I open it up, this is what it looks like. For reference, I can put, if you know what the craft pick looks like, so this is kind of the size. So it's pretty big. I can tell you the exact size actually. It is, it's about 7 inches square. So it's a pretty large size. So you have one side that's designed to be kind of your dirty side, and that's where you spray your stamp cleaner. And then you have the other side, which is designed to be your more clean side. So if this was my stamp cleaner, I'd spray my stamp cleaner on here, I'd scrub my dirty stamp, and then I'd go onto this side and I'd rub my stamp, now it's clean, and I'd kind of dry it off. What I tend to do is I put something in this side, like a blue Sharpie in this side, so I know that this is my wet and then this is my dry side. So that would be my top tip. And then what I also do is I tend to put a label like wet and dry on either side, so that I know on the outside when I open it what it's designed to do. So that is my on there as well. So lots of you saying, is that on Tonic? Yes, it is. Is this on sale? Yes, it is. So that's on there as well. So that answers your question too. Also a reminder that there's also the Valentine's Day sale going on as well. So everything here is in that Valentine's Day sale. I didn't pick everything that's in the Valentine's Day sale. I just kind of picked out a selection of my favorite things in the Valentine's Day sale. So there's Craft Perfect papers in there. There's sequins, there's glitters, there's Nuvo drops, there's shimmer powders, there's sparkle dust, which is our microfine glitter, there's twine, there's the red expanding mousse in there, there's the new Love Potion Dream Drops if you're wanting to try those, they're in there, there's vintage drops, there's jewel drops, there's all those kinds of things in there as well. So that's in there too. So lots and lots of fun things going on there as well. So that's going on too. So Lots and lots of things going on. So thank you so much for joining us here at Tonic Studios on your Wednesday evening. I hope you've had fun seeing my picks of the tool sale. Don't forget to join us next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to get Greg to pick a winner because my phone's decided
I can do that.
Decided to give up on me. It's had a long day.
How exactly does this work? I click there on there.
Okay, so I'm going to choose the closest share to that. Right, I'm going to go up as there wasn't one going down. Lots of the time we were chatting about spoons, it looked like. So the closest share to that was Melissa Rico, and I hope I've said your surname right because I always hate saying surnames that I don't recognise. So congratulations, I'm just not going to say anything anymore. Congratulations. Send us a message with your snail mail address. We'll get a goodie bag out to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and spending your Wednesday evening with me. Oh my goodness, I can't speak today. It's been a very long day here. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to join us next week at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll have some fun and new things for you again. And of course, don't forget to shop that Valentine's Day flash sale. And don't forget to shop the tool sale. Oh, I almost forgot. On the weekend, we are going to be at Legacy Paper Arts for some fun demos. If you are near around Columbus, make sure you come down and join us. There is a event on the Tonic Studios Facebook page you can RSVP to, so make sure to hop on over and RSVP to that if you're in the area. If you have friends that are near Columbus, let them know as well. We'd love to see them, and we'll see you all again very soon. Happy stamping, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you again next week. Bye.